Well, hello out there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. I am so excited to be here with my friends Mo and Brenda tonight to talk about social media. And I'm Annette Richmond. This is the Trend Talk Show, and we are here tonight talking about social media marketing. Now, I hate to see people reading introductions, so I'm going to ask my guests to introduce themselves. I'm going to start with you, Mo, and then Brenda.
First of all, thank you so much, Annette. And it's so great to be on your show with Brenda. It's an honor. My name is Moumita, and I am a cross industry marketer with very keen interest in digital and the social world. And on LinkedIn, you will find me sharing about the world of digital and content marketing. And I advocate for diversity and inclusion through my lived experiences. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this reminds me of Toastmasters. I don't know if either of you are familiar with, or do your table topic introduction of yourself in 1 minute or less. So hello, this is Brenda Muller. Thank you so much, Annette, for inviting me on. Mo, it is a delight to see you. I have to look up, what is it, this way over there to say hi to you. But it's a delight to be on with both of you here tonight. And for those that are watching, if we are not yet connected yet, my specialty is LinkedIn, and my catchphrase I tell people is I help you get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. And I don't work for LinkedIn. I work for myself. And if I'm being honest, I work for you. I work for my clients. So I'm delighted to be here and really looking forward to the discussion tonight.
Okay, so here's our cue, Mo. This is social media pie. As you see, we are big fans. We both
so
have
we can get a picture. I'll get it from the playback later.
So we all have our copies, and I have learned tons from it. So I am so excited to be here. And as you know, we're just going to be having an open discussion because I hate that Q&A formal format. And in preparation for the show, I've been looking up some stats on social media marketing, and I shared a few of them with you. And one of the things that I found really interesting was the idea that 73% of businesses are participating in social commerce, which they define as selling through Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. And 79% expect to do that in the next 3 years. So it sounds like there's a lot of marketing going to be done on social. And some of the stats that I found were that 91% of executives responding to this poll said they were increasing their budgets more than 50%. And they also found in this, and this is a Harris poll conducted for Sprout Social, 78% of consumers said they were more willing to buy from a brand, and 77% would choose a brand over a competitor after a positive experience on social media. So, you are the social media, gurus here. So what's your take on all that?
Brenda, do you want to start?
Go ahead.
Okay, so here, of course, those statistics have been quite revealing. And from my personal experience, I can see a lot changing. Video looked very daunting. Social media, digital looked very daunting. But then there are things that's become very easy. And someone just, for example, even a small business owner can just get started with the tools that are currently available online. The big businesses that I work for a large business, and I see a lot changing in my professional experience as well. I'm seeing people are gradually shifting budgets from traditional marketing to digital and trying to work in tandem. So I will give you an example of a traditional marketing tool, for example, an in-person event marketing, an in-person event, and how digital has become an integrated part of that physical experience. So it is a world of digital right now. So for every event right now, we have QR codes for signing up for it, where people can scan their phones and immediately their contacts get transferred as a lead. So we're trying to build in, or we're trying to bring in the best of both worlds. And I think this is only going to grow in my experience.
Okay.
So I guess to add on to that, so my first career, starting out professionally, I worked for an advertising agency in media planning, which at the time was broadcast, radio, TV, outdoor, print. There was no social media. I don't even think, no, we didn't even do social media at the time. Now I was only with the agency about 2.5 years, and then I left and I went into corporate marketing and retail marketing in a bunch of different areas. But coming back full circle in corporate marketing, we started to shift our budget. It was probably 2008, 2009 into social and digital. And we were already doing the Google ads and pay-per-click and things like that. But I even think myself right now, Annette, I'm now 6 years into working independently and being fully immersed into LinkedIn and everything. And I just think about how much this landscape has changed and is continuing to change year over year. And even there's new players, out there now and TikTok, and we're not quite sure what's happening with Twitter. We're hearing some ad budgets shifting out of there, and where will they go? There's an opportunity that's created by that. So it's amazing to think about how far we've come from, this push message that advertisers would push messages out there through, traditional. And now that's really not even, I don't want to say non-traditional anymore, but it's not traditional. Now the new traditional is social and it is digital. And there are new iterations that are popping up on there. So the data that you were sharing doesn't surprise me at all. And it makes complete sense because of that know, like, and trust factor. And that's where we spend our time. We spend our time online. It's online nowadays through social media community. So it makes a lot of sense to me.
So, also I found a lot of information was on video. And one of the surveys that I was looking at from Hubspot actually said that 66% of consumers have watched video content, demos, reviews, etc., to learn about brands or products. And, now consumers expect to see video content from brands. It's just becoming something that they expect. And one thing that I found was interesting, and Mo, you had mentioned, I think you and Brenda both may have mentioned TikTok. And the thing that I find really interesting is consumers want short videos. And they had a breakdown, and 36% wanted 1 to 3 minutes. And 27% said 4 to 6 minutes. But the longer and the shorter were both about 15% and 14%. So those short videos that I think we were all trained to, we're told, oh, it must be under 3 minutes and it has to be 1 minute, particularly since TikTok started with 1 minute, is really not true. But also the longer videos people don't like either. So what do you think about that? And what would you say is kind of the sweet spot?
I could go, and before I answer your question, Annette, how it's really very interesting to note the journey, how everyone is jumping into video. I jumped into video quite late, and also corporates. So what we have to understand is, when we talk about television advertising, for that matter, television advertising demonstrates. It's a demonstrative mechanism. So video in any form, short, long, demonstrates, and it actually brings us so much closer to our audiences. And when I say our audiences, I essentially talk about people as media. One of my favorite things to say about social media is I like to call it the people media. Like, people are the broadcasters. We have our own audience, own genre, own reach, own network. So all of us are broadcasters, for that matter. And when the tools are available, video can demonstrate, and it can bring us so much more closer to our audiences. It does make sense that video is only going to grow. Also for email marketing, the moment you include a video in email marketing, the click rates increase dramatically. So video connects. Video actually, takes care of accents, look, connecting with your audience, and all of that. So it definitely is going to be a great tool. It looked daunting, using it in the past, but with tools these days, it's getting easier and easier. Brenda?
I will add on to that too. I mean, one thing we see now, I'm going to just say Super Bowl advertising, and let's think about this for a second. Every year, what happens now? A couple days before the big game, the advertisers start, the brand, I should say, through their advertisers start leaking their videos out, and they go on YouTube, and we all watch them before the show, and we're like, oh, this is going to be the one that I want to watch now. And I think there's still 30-second spots. I think some of them are 15s. But when you're talking, Annette, about, length of video, and we think about the average attention span, and as you were describing the data, I'm like, oh, it has to be short. It has to be short. But then you're just like, no, there's actually longer videos. And I think it depends on the subject. And to your point too, Mo, if we are in information seeking mode, if we are in a research mode, we are sometimes more willing to watch longer. But I think also entertainment, and I'm going to use, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the guy, Ryan. He does the whiskey commercials. They're very,
Ryan Gosling.
What is
Ryan
it?
Reynolds.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Has he just the star who's just joined LinkedIn and is going big?
No, it's a celebrity, and I'm blanking on his name.
I think Ryan Reynolds, but
Ryan Reynolds.
Is it Ryan Reynolds? I think it is Ryan Reynolds. So he's got now these longer commercials that are like 2 minutes long, but they're kind of, they're funny, and you watch them because it's entertainment while it's educating you. And there was a one that's going around right now that is about getting I think a colonoscopy, and it's a funny video, and it's actually walking through the steps, and it's the whole point is get your colonoscopy. Don't wait, don't put it off. A lot of us did during the pandemic, and this is a very necessary screening that can prevent many forms of colon cancer. So I think about sometimes these videos, it depends on the subject matter, and it also depends on your audience. Are they willing to watch longer? Because it either is information fulfilling for them or entertainment fulfilling for them.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like that 1 to 3 minutes. Though you're talking about, it's kind of, particularly if they're entertaining, and I love that whole idea, the edutainment. I just want to say hi to some of our friends out in the audience. Kevin D. Turner, thank you for joining us, and Dan Roth and Naomi. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But anyway, thank you for joining us and for being out there. I'm terrible with name pronunciation, and Dan wants to know, is your audiobook out yet, Brenda? So you can
Dan Roth, you should know that it is. Of course it's out, and you should have a copy of that if you're not going to read the print. I'm offended, Dan Roth, that you don't know that already.
So thank you all for being here. We so do appreciate you being here with us. And I love the whole idea too of the edutainment. And I know that, I do a lot of videos too, and I try to make them entertaining as well as hopefully, educational. So do you think that that's kind of, the way that things are going? I want to just throw this one other stat out, that 74% of businesses, when they make videos, they do explainer or demonstration videos. So what's your, is that the thing now, the edutainment? Is that the preference or not? Or maybe.
Yeah, I think so. If you consider TikTok as, the video guide, the video compass, the way TikTok has been setting trends on how videos should be made, we are seeing more of these kind of edutainment videos being made. And I think TikTok has also kind of shifted from very short videos to, slightly longer 1 to 2 minute videos, which are explaining, which are entertaining, and what you call edutainment. And I think the TikTok algorithm is so smart. It just shows you what you want to see. The moment you see or scroll through maybe 2 or 3 videos which are slightly longer, it'll show you only, videos of that duration. And if you are into like very short videos, like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, it'll keep showing you, videos of that duration as well. So yeah, I think that's the way forward. And the other thing I'd also add is, say for example, CapCut, which is also owned by ByteDance, the same company as who owns TikTok. They are complementing each other by creating tools that make your video production so much more easier.
Yeah, I agree. And, we're all on TikTok, so it's kind of be fun to talk about it. And, I had read a couple of months ago when I was doing something that TikTok was the most downloaded app in the United States with 94 million downloads in 2021, a
Wow.
6% increase over 2020. And that was from Apptopia, who tracks different app performances or downloads. And I also found that their website, which, we know now you can use the website. You don't even have to download the app. You can just go to their website and look at stuff. It became the most popular domain in 2021. And I know that I have started, going there myself if I'm looking for, how to do something. I learned how to whitewash my fireplace last year from a TikTok video. And, I know it was a minute. And then it was 3 minutes, which started almost as soon as at least a year ago. And then I don't know if it's 6 months or so ago, you can go to 10 minutes now. Now, I had tried a couple of longer videos that didn't do very well, but so what do you all think about TikTok? Because I don't know a lot of people that actually use it. people that are colleagues.
I would say I think it depends on, there's like the user perspective and then there's the brand perspective. You got to figure out, let's just talk from a marketing perspective. Is your audience there? That's what it comes down to. Is your audience there? Are they looking for you there? You normally, when a new site rolls out, and Annette and Mo, we've seen these, different sites are popping up all the time. And as soon as something feels like it's starting to gain enough traction and visibility in the mainstream, I usually will tell my clients, claim your name at bare minimum, claim Brenda Meller or Meller Marketing, whatever the name is on the platform, so that nobody else can. And then you can decide, do you want to even post and do anything on it? And some people are just not comfortable with video, and that's fine. And then I think some other people will embrace the uncomfortableness of it and learn it. And Ilya Francis, I want to give her a shout out because she's amazing and she's done so much with different videos, and she's now evolved it into, it's a little bit of entertainment, and it's a lot of education, and she does so in a way that's really engaging. And then she repurposes what she's doing on TikTok and does it on LinkedIn, and I see others doing this really well. Now for me, you can look me up on TikTok if you want, Brenda Meller. It's a couple of videos of me and my daughter doing TikTok dances during the pandemic, and there's like a couple of LinkedIn things on there. I really haven't done too much, but I was surprised the other day, and I looked up. I'm like, I have 250 followers, and why are people following? There's not even nothing there to look at. But it's, where can your audience be found? Coming back to that point again, are they there? Then you should be there. That's my advice.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm curious to hear what you think about that too, Mo. But because I know that when I'm on there, I am seeing increasing numbers. It's not all just dog videos and grannies dancing in their underwear. That stuff's on there too, but there are a lot of people kind of like me, like us, that are on there that are providing videos that are educational, or a lot of coaches and different types of people on there. So what are you seeing in terms of that, Mo?
I think anybody who thinks TikTok is only for, like you say, dancing grannies and dog videos must have been sleeping for the past couple of months, because, social media is what you want to see. You direct as much of it as you want. You will only see what you want to see. So if you want to see the videos that are educational, entertaining, of that particular duration, you just have to train the algorithm to do that. And the one thing that I want to talk about TikTok is the way it gained popularity. It started as a discovery platform. By discovery platform, I essentially mean consumption over community. You don't have to be friends to like someone's video. You just have to have that interest. So that way we kept scrolling depending on what we wanted to see. And that is something that even LinkedIn and probably other platforms are also bringing, like the discovery feed, which is beyond your community, beyond people who you are connected with. The funny thing, however, is now TikTok has also introduced a Friends tab. So TikTok is also now trying to bring in that feeling of community. So I think most platforms are behaving or trying to copy the best behaviors from the other. About TikTok, the other interesting thing is for Google, it's a competition because it's becoming a search engine. For Netflix, it's a competition because it's an over-the-top platform. If you wanted longer videos, there are channels, there are handles who have, sliced up episodes like Friends, Big Bang Theory, and have posted them, have done nothing, no work, but have posted sliced up videos, bite-sized chunks. And by bite-size, I mean 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute chunks. And people are watching that. People are, helping those channels, those handles gain popularity. So it is all what you want to see. And TikTok is kind of setting these directions.
Yeah, I want to hear what your thoughts are on that, Brenda. But for those of you, if you're watching and you are not on TikTok, I think what you're talking about is when you have your feed, you have the For You, which is people that you are not necessarily that you are following, I believe, but then you also have the other
the friends, your friends tab,
yeah,
and your For You page.
You have your friends, your For You, and then you have the people that you're following. So the For You is that kind of discovery. So I see it as something that gives you an opportunity to reach beyond your connections more so than like LinkedIn. So you're the LinkedIn pro here, Brenda, as well. So what do you think about that?
So when you were just describing TikTok and your friends and discovery and all the, like, I go on there like maybe once every couple weeks is how often I go on there. And usually it's like somebody like you, Annette, will send me a video, or my husband will send me like, oh, you got to watch this. And I'll go on there. I don't actively use it as part of my day to day. And you make me think, as you're talking, Annette, about like sometimes when I talk to people about LinkedIn, I'm explaining to them, and I'll be like in a coaching session, and we'll be doing like a Zoom, and they'll have their profile up on screen, and I'll say, click on the me icon and then go under privacy and settings. And they'll say, click on the who to the what, And to me, it's like intuitive, the me icon. And then I usually back it up and I say, look at the menu bar at the top. It says home, my network, jobs, messaging. And I slow it down until I hear them go, oh yeah, I see it. Okay, click on the me icon and then go under, and then you'll see privacy and settings. And, sometimes we have to slow it down. I think, honestly, there's a huge opportunity for people to teach TikTok to non-TikTok users, people that are open and receptive to that audience. And it in some ways, it reminds me of, there's a whole audience of people that feel that same way on LinkedIn. And we got a lot of them off of Facebook. We got them, right? Because people left Facebook, especially over the past couple of years, a lot of things happening in our nation here in the US, and people getting sick of Facebook drama. And they came on to LinkedIn and they said, gosh, it's nice over here. It's not like Facebook where you got this and that and the other. But it's so different. It's so much more like robust, and I don't want to do things the wrong way. So, I think just taking a step back from all of that, I mean, as you're talking about TikTok, I'm like, I'll sometimes throw up my hands and go, I don't know. Because I don't know. That's not the lane that I'm in. I'm comfortable saying that, but I feel like both of you, you're talking like this almost foreign language about the discovery and the tabs in my friends. And I'm like, I'm grabbing my phone out going, TikTok, like I'm navigating.
Well, okay. So I wanted this to sort of shift anyway. So we're talking about LinkedIn. So let's shift over to LinkedIn, because there's plenty of people that don't know about video on LinkedIn either. And I love what you were saying about, Ilya, that she creates videos on TikTok and then repurposes them onto LinkedIn. I think, Mo, you do that as well. I do that as well. And one of the reasons that I like the videos is because it's a different audience, but you can just take the content and use it again. So let's talk a little bit about video on LinkedIn. And I'm wondering if they are going to be pushing it more now that, like TikTok has become so popular, and now sort of LinkedIn Lives are available pretty much to everyone. I mean, I know when I got LinkedIn Live, I had to apply and wait and cross my fingers. And now it's just there for everyone. Do you think that's part of like trying that they're trying to get more people on video, on LinkedIn doing video?
I think it's already been happening. I
Okay.
think about a lot of things in terms of a bell curve, and I don't know what the names are. It's been a couple years since I've had this in class, but there's like the you
Mhm.
know the innovators that are at the very very start of the spectrum, and then there's the late adopters, and then there's the majority, and then there's the laggards, and the I don't know what
Yep.
the people on the end are called. But I kind of feel like video is in its mainstream right now on LinkedIn. I mean, I feel like everybody is aware of video and the power of video, and there's not just one format. It's not just like upload an MP4. That's kind of called the native, you upload it natively
Mhm.
on there. There's
Mhm.
also the point to a YouTube, or download a TikTok and upload it as an MP4. And then there's inside your headshot photo, there's the profile video. And by the way, Annette, you have one of those on your profile, don't you? The animated video.
The profile video, yeah.
Yeah. So does it still play in preview? Because I was trying it
Yes.
earlier today and it wasn't. I went on my profile and it didn't work. And I went on John Asperian and his didn't work. And it was either I could have been like sometimes they unplug one server and they plug another one in, and I'm making that up, but that's what I kind of feel like. Sometimes there's little hiccups that occur, and it wasn't happening for me. It used to be like people say it was like the Harry Potter movie when you walk by the
Yeah,
paintings and
yeah.
the people, but it wasn't doing that for me. And I said, I wonder if they turned that off or if I just got caught when they were disconnecting and reconnecting the cords. But you're saying it is still playing
Yeah,
when you
I
leave the
actually just
profile?
clicked on my profile now and it just popped up.
Okay, that's weird.
So
So, but was it replaying for like the 3 seconds before the full video? Like, did you have to click on it to watch
nope,
it?
it just
Okay.
replayed for a couple of seconds. It's just mine is
Yeah.
like me waving in the
Right,
beginning.
same. Because I always use that 3-second preview, and I like look around and do things because you're trying to catch people's attention to keep them watching. And some people were watching this going, "Wait, what?" They're like I was just a minute ago when you guys were talking about TikTok and Discovery and Friends, and I'm like, "Friends, the TV show, I know that." No, that's the wrong
So,
Friends.
no, well, I'm glad that you brought up the profile video because I truly believe, and I am like a video nag among some of my colleagues who are not doing video. And I think that the LinkedIn profile video, we're talking about marketing, but it's a thing that you're marketing yourself. I mean, whether you're someone in corporate or you have a business or whatever, and people are not using it, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. I was one of them, Annette, I can say. I jumped onto making my own profile video quite some time. Well, let me tell you, the skill was not the issue. The intent was. I do videos all the time, but I kind of did not, crystallize what I wanted to say on my video. How do I want to sign off? What should my CTA be in that profile video? Particularly, people who are still in employment and do not know where to redirect traffic to. I mean, what you expect people who's watching your profile video, what you want them to do. So yeah, I took some time trying to crystallize that, but once done, it's a fabulous thing to have on your profile, and it's clearly a differentiator because not too many people are doing it even now.
Yeah, I see that, and I'd like to ask you all too about sort of the whole social audios, because I was reading that brands are now having social audio strategies. And we were all, I think I met you originally, both of you, on Clubhouse back in the heyday when Clubhouse was the hot thing, and then it sort of lost its luster. And I found these stats that when in 2021, in February 2021, there were 10.6 million downloads,
Wow.
and by April 2021, this is a month. There were 873,000 downloads. It was like down 69%. And I was not an early adopter there, but it was, invite only. But now there's Clubhouse is still there. LinkedIn has audio. Facebook has introduced audio rooms. I'm not really on Facebook, so I don't know what goes on with that. And then there's Twitter Spaces. That's kind of like that. What do you think of in terms of maybe with marketing for that? Is that something that brand should look at, you think?
Um, I can.
I'm like trying to point. It's opposite of where you are. Like
Yes.
you're actually over there on my screen, but I have to go like there.
Yeah, and now I'm being pointed at.
Go take it. Go ahead.
I'll tell you a few things. Audio is going to be big. Like I was reading a statistic that by 2023 or by 2025, there'd be 8 billion devices, not just phones, just devices with some sort of audio interaction. It could mean the Siri, the Alexas of the world, and any kind of smart device. That's one statistic to look at. So therefore, what does that say? It says that audio is definitely top of agenda, you know. The other thing is audio, say start of 2021, it began as a platform. Clubhouse was a platform. But right now, audio has become a feature. So every other platform has audio as a feature. So audio is getting, normalized as part of all other features that are available across platforms. So yes, audio I think will get bigger. Audio search is huge. For search engine, voice optimized searches are getting bigger and bigger every day. So I think brands will jump in to audio. As we speak, I am planning my first audio chat from my personal profile, but for my organization. So,
okay.
I am planning something around that, and I know audio on the company page is already being rolled out in beta. I think Guy is doing that, Guy Stribosch. And audio, I think, will get bigger. Brands will jump onto it like they have jumped onto video. They will jump onto audio as well. They just have to get, all the things in the right place.
Yeah, I think there's a benefit to audio, and I mean we know because we were on the Clubhouse circuit for a while. We saw it firsthand. I mean, you don't have to do your hair and makeup. Anybody can come up on stage. The photos look consistent wherever you go, and I don't know. There's a lot of reasons I think that Clubhouse isn't still around. I mean, I think part of it was such an Apple focused community for a while, and then I think they took too long to roll it out to Android, and then we got kind of tired, and then LinkedIn's like, hey, we're going to start to do audio over here, and we're like, good, then we don't have to leave LinkedIn, because we would leave LinkedIn and go to Clubhouse. But now they're rolling it out across the platform, and I'm one of the pages that's involved in the LinkedIn audio test. So I'm doing like a LinkedIn audio event on my Meller marketing page on LinkedIn every Monday at 1 p.m. Testing it out and also kind of learning a little bit as I go, because it is a newer technology. And we all know you don't learn something the first time you do it or the second time you do it. You learn it by doing it 20, 30, 40 times. Twitter Spaces, I've not really done a whole lot with, but Bobby Umar, he's the person I see popping on Twitter Spaces and doing a lot with that. I always tell people, try it. And even like if you're watching this video right now, whether you're watching live or playback, drop a comment and let people know that you're there and test it out. Test out what the commenting looks like, because you're going to notice you put a comment and then it actually on LinkedIn Live, at least it takes 30 seconds for the comment to be seen by the moderators. And then it might take Annette another couple seconds to grab your comment and show it up on screen. So another minute and a half may have gone by. So there's a little bit of a time delay that occurs, and you wouldn't know that your first time through, and you wouldn't know that your first time being a guest, but you'll know it after you've done it a couple times. And then what you do as a marketer is we build in and we explain things to our audience. So they know that we're not ignoring them when we're seeing the comments coming in. But brands need help with this, because this is a whole, this like the Wild West, and there's always new things sprouting up here and there. And we got to figure them out and figure out where we need to be. But the good thing is, on LinkedIn, there's such a great community of people out there who are doing it already, who are willing to, we all stick our necks out, right? And I've had a couple times I've gotten burned. The audio didn't work. The feed dropped. I'm like, I do things and I break them so that you don't have to, right? That's my thing. I always say I don't make mistakes. I have learning experiences. And then I tell my audience what my learning experience was so they can learn from it too.
Well, Brandon, you are the most unflappable person. And thank you for reminding me to say hello to people that are watching. I was, and I want to say, Ken mentioned that he's not very big on video, but he likes the audio much better. And I want to say hello to our friend who joined us just a little bit ago. Michelle J. Raymond, who is another fabulous LinkedIn person, particularly on company pages. And Ilya, I hope your ears were probably ringing because we were talking about you and how awesome you are with the videos that you do. And, it's so interesting. I will never forget, Brenda, when you were on my show at the beginning of this year, and I somehow hit something and left the studio and couldn't get back in, and I didn't know where I was, and I couldn't. And you're just there going, talking on,
and then I was like, "All right, welcome to the Brenda Meller Show. Come along, everyone. We're going to go over here now and talk about." No, I didn't.
And it was, and it was so fabulous. But I know LinkedIn audio. I believe it's still rolling out. I mean, I whined and cried and moaned about it for months and months because I didn't get it. And then I finally got it like in September, and I haven't done an audio event yet because I kind of like the lives. I love LinkedIn Live because I love to be able to chat and see people and have people be able to watch it later. So, what do you think about the whole audio recording? I know they did start being able to record audios on Clubhouse, and you could go back and listen to them later. LinkedIn is, different because it's a public space. But I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen with that? Are we gonna see that audio recording, or
do you have some thoughts, Mo, or do you mind if I?
No.
You go for it, Brenda. I will add to it.
So I think this kind of reminds me of a friend, former coworker, Lee Meadows, and Lee and I were talking, and he's a leadership coach and speaker. And every once in a while, people would say, "Lee, do you have an email list?" And he'd be like, "No, but I need to get one of those one of these days." And it kind of reminds me of when we see newer technologies come out, the same thing happens. People say, this audio is great, but I missed the beginning. Is there a recording that's available? And it's like our audience is driving us to make the changes to serve them. Because come end of the day, I mean, we have to, there's the consumers, the people we're trying to reach, and then we have to understand the platform and the algorithm and the rules. And, all of these social media sites, they are businesses. Their goal is to increase time on site, to keep you on the site longer. How are they going to do that? They're going to give you what you're asking for. Can we do audio? Yes, Annette, Richmond, you have audio. Mo says, can you give us audio? Can we listen to a playback? Yes, Mo, we'll give you an audio playback. And the longer we stay on this site, what happens? Engagement increases. They can report that back to their advertisers. They can serve you more ads, right? They can do more upsells. So I think it'll come around. And I don't know what the hesitation or hiccup is, other than I think there's a bandwidth issue. Now LinkedIn has to become like a repository for all these things to sit, because think about it right now, LinkedIn Live video sits on LinkedIn. It doesn't sit on a YouTube channel. So they had to buy like a whole factory of servers or cloud space or something to put these on. So I think it's probably a technology, I don't want to say even roadblock, but it's a technology problem that needs to be solved before they can start hosting it. Because how cool was that when we could do that on Clubhouse? You could like take the last 30 seconds and you could tweet it out. That was the coolest thing. Yeah. So I would think LinkedIn's going to get there because it's a really neat content tool.
And a great thing for advertising. So I want to say thank you for joining us, Naomi. This is her first LinkedIn Live. So we're so happy that you decided to do that with us. And here Michelle is giving us some news that audio recording is on the roadmap. So and I would think that would be great too for advertisers. I mean, if you're going to have something, and it is also, I think, a different audience, which is part of the reason that I put all of my LinkedIn Lives on a podcast, so that people can view them audio, video, however they prefer to do that. And so Michelle is giving us some more information here. Just the usual slow and steady rollout. So I'm sorry, someone was going to say something and I interrupted.
No, you did not interrupt. I just wanted to add to what we were discussing. Audio recording is definitely in the roadmap, but currently when we go live on audio events, there is a prompt which says that LinkedIn is currently recording it for privacy, for, just for safety. So I'm sure they are creating that repository, and they will, gradually create a way for us to kind of, because that's been a common ask since the very start, that we do want recording. One way that I have been doing these audio events is when I've had my show, I record it on my laptop locally. And then I get that transcribed and publish it as an article. If I had a better equipment, a better recording equipment, that could be published as a podcast. I could still do that. Just a little bit of cleaning of and editing probably is required. But then, if someone wanted to, they could. But I think it's definitely in the pipeline, in the roadmap.
Do you think so too, Brenda?
I mean, it sounds like it. I mean,
when?
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming up. Yeah, and like Michelle Raymond was saying, and I think she's got like a hotline to somebody at LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's like one of those people you want to follow. And by the way, if you're not already following Michelle J. Raymond, please do so. She's the company Pages expert. She and I, we kind of were circling around each other because we're like, you like company pages? I like company pages. And we were both helping people with them. And she's very knowledgeable about those things coming up. But yeah, it sounds like it's on the horizon. So it'll be here. I just wonder, Annette, I was kind of the same way. I'm like, oh, when LinkedIn Audio said when LinkedIn said they were going to have an audio, I'm like, oh, I want it because we're leaving Clubhouse. But I was kind of like, been there, done that. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. When I first did get it on my personal, I think I did a stream just to test it out. And I'm doing the audio test on Pages right now. So I have a commitment to do that for a while yet, which I'm enjoying. Not a bad thing. But I don't know, been there, done that, because we've had on Clubhouse. If I wasn't a Clubhouse audio event user, I might be more excited about it on LinkedIn. But also, I think I'm more comfortable doing audio on LinkedIn because I've done it on Clubhouse too. So I don't know.
Well, you can do as much in a day, right? You can do only that much.
Right.
So one more tool.
So Michelle is smiling at us. We were smiling back at you, Michelle. And, I'm the same way, though. I wanted it because, like, everybody I knew had it. And I was, not me. I never get it. And, woe is me, because I like to whine about something. And then, finally there it was. And now LinkedIn is constantly prompting me to, hey, do you want to do audio? Why don't you do an audio whenever I go into one in the audience? So, I want to thank you so much, both of you, for being here with me tonight. And I want to be mindful of your time. And thank you to everyone who has been with us, many people right from the start. And we have talked, I think we've covered a lot of ground, but obviously I'm not bringing up everything that I should. So if you could just share before we close down, something that you think that's important to say that, I haven't asked and we haven't discussed. And then, of course, how to get in touch with you. I think that'd be a great way to sort of close us out. So, Brendan, do you want to start and we'll work back up to me?
So was the question again, like just talking about trends, or I'm trying to...
Whatever, anything that we haven't talked about tonight that you think is important to mention. It could be, anything, something specific about LinkedIn or, anything, a closing thought that you might have.
I would just say, I'll just kind of talk about LinkedIn because that's my area of specialty. There's probably people watching this right now that are a little hesitant and nervous about using LinkedIn and don't want to do things the wrong way and don't want to look dumb when they're doing things, or don't want to ask questions. There's a wonderful community of people out there. 3 of us are on the call here today who are able and willing to help you. And I all the time get people asking me questions, sometimes in emails or in DMs, or they'll submit it through my website. How do you do this? I feel silly asking this. I should know, but and there's a wonderful community of people that want to see you succeed and help you out on LinkedIn. And once you find a wonderful person, I mean, if you look through the stream on tonight's video here on LinkedIn, I've been tagging people as we've been talking about them, leaving a little breadcrumb trail so that you can kind of click on and go to their profile and follow them and get more nuggets and get more tips from them, because there's a wonderful, wonderful community of people out there. So yeah, I guess that's what I have to say in closing today.
Well, thank you so much. And people can, of course, find you and connect with you on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. So if you go to my profile on LinkedIn, I have creator mode set up, and my default button is follow, not connect. Now, if you do want to connect with me, I am more than open to connecting with you, but you'll need to go to the more drop down, click on that. And underneath that, you'll see an option that will either say connect or personalized invite. When you click on that, there'll be a button that will say add a note or send now. You want to add a note and say, hey, Brenda, I heard you on Annette's LinkedIn Live tonight. Like, tell me where you heard from me. If I get like a blind invitation, meaning an invitation from someone I don't know, I'll check a quick once over on your profile. I typically will accept invitations from people in the US and Canada because I'm located in the US and that's where most of my business comes from. And there is a connection limit of 30,000 and I'm more than halfway there. So I'm being much more selective. But I do make exceptions for people that watch broadcast shows. The only ones I don't accept still, Annette, are the photos, the accounts without photo, because I want to make sure that you're a real person. But having said that, yeah, I'm more than open to connecting, or you can just click on follow and you can see my updates on LinkedIn.
And absolutely, absolutely do that. If you're not already following Brenda, please do so. And Mo.
Thank you. I'd just say ditto to that, Brenda, for explaining so well. How can people go and connect? I'm also on, I have my creator mode turned on as well. What I would quickly like to add, and that this is, I think, applicable across channels. When any platform is introducing a new feature, I think that's the best time to jump onto it because the platform will organically try and push it out a little wider. So do it scared anyways. Courage comes in bite-sized packages. Just if you've heard of a new feature that's been introduced, just go on, try it out. You may not like it thereafter, but just give it that first kind of push, because you will have some organic push from the platform already. And the best place to connect with me is obviously on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a little push for me to start using audio. So it's on my list. I've got to give it a shot. So again, I thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. People, if you're watching now live or on the replay, put a comment in and I'm sure one of us will respond to you. So thanks again so much for being here. And actually, you will be seeing me soon with another show. So have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.